All right, today I'm not going to sugarcoat it. If you can't handle these things on our list, you probably shouldn't be thinking about moving to Florida. If after you watch this video, you're still interested in moving to Florida, shoot me a message. I'd be glad to help answer any additional questions you have in regards to the state or financing. So Florida has been a red state 75% of the time since 1976 in presidential elections. I can also tell you that the governor of Florida has been a Republican for the last, looks like, 20 plus years. So if that's something that, it's going to bother you, definitely don't want to move here. I can tell you just a quick side note, if you don't believe me, go out to the beaches. If you have a boat, check out all the flags that are flying. Very highly conservative. Everyone lets you know where they stand as far as that goes. I can tell you that Florida is pro-gun, pro-life. So again, I don't think if you're moving here, you're going to be changing any opinions as far as that goes. So definitely is something you should consider. All right, so state mandates. Our governor, in regards to COVID and wearing masks or not, has left that choice up to you. If you're going into most of the businesses here have a sign that might say if you're vaccinated, or I should say if you're unvaccinated, please put on a mask. It is your choice. If you're going into public gatherings, if you're going to a concert, if you're going to a restaurant or the mall, again, it's up to you whether you choose to wear a mask or not, but it is not mandated. So I can tell you probably that has helped a lot of the small businesses stay open. Last year when COVID happened and they had to shut down for months at a time, that definitely put some of the smaller businesses, forced them to close down. So I think that's helped keep some of the smaller businesses open that have opened since COVID. I think also it might have driven some businesses here to Florida, or maybe had people move to Florida and open up businesses because they have more of a open view as far as if you want to wear a mask or not. So let's get into weather. I would say between December and February, the lows are probably going to hit in the high 30s. Not too bad for us. I've been here for a while. If you're not used to that, that would be a problem. May through September, you're probably going to see in the 90s with the humidity and everything over the summer. It can be unbearable for some people. Again, the humidity is usually probably what really is the issue. If you're traveling, if you've been here over the summers and went to some of the theme parks, you know what I'm talking about, standing in line for 30 minutes to an hour, just humid and just, you got to make sure you're drinking the water and everything like that. Outside of that, every other month, probably going to be in the 80s still. So if that kind of climate and that kind of weather isn't something that you like, definitely want to, think twice before moving to Florida. The other things I can talk about would be, we're getting into the rainy season. July through probably September, October, the rainy season. So, I know with some of the sports teams, they get back into their season starting in August, and that affects practices, late afternoon showers. If they're playing soccer, football, baseball, they're going to protect the fields because of the rain. So another thing to think about are the, with the rainy season comes hurricanes. So if you're not used to it, if you're from Midwestern states, you're used to more like tornadoes. It's very similar, but you're talking about coming, over on the water onto land. The seasonal time is going to be August and September. I'd say July, August, September is when it's going to hit the worst in this area. If you're moving here, you definitely want to have supplies ready before you get notifications of the hurricane. If you wait until they say, hey, hurricane's going to be hitting in the next few days, you're not going to be able to find generators, water, first aid kits, batteries, different things like that. It's going to be too late. So again, if those are things that worry you, you can always do a little bit more research, but those are things and reasons why you should not move to Florida. traffic and bad drivers. We do have a lot of tourists that come here. Over the years, I've experienced, if you're in Orlando or, highly populated areas with theme parks and things like that where people visit, even Tampa, there's Busch Gardens, Adventure Island, there's colleges here. So you get a lot of people visiting at different times of the year, right? Some of the drivers, I'm sure everyone has a relative that, isn't the best. I know I have some myself that probably shouldn't be driving anymore. So, that can be frustrating. So I don't know about where, you're coming from, but in Florida, typically speed limits, a lot of drivers look at them like they are suggestions versus the law. Typically, you're going to see drivers going anywhere between 10 and 20 miles over the speed limits. If that's a concern for you, especially on interstates, not to say that they don't do that on regular roads too, but definitely on interstates, something you want to be aware of. So population and growth, next thing we're going to talk about. I mean, if you don't want to be in a very densely populated area, definitely want to probably stay away from Pinellas County. It's continuing to grow. A lot of people and not a whole lot of space. We're growing Florida in general at a rate of 14.6%. And we're very diverse, I will say that. You're going to meet people from all over the world here. A lot of people travel, settle. They come here and visit and then decide, hey, I want to actually retire there. I want to live there. And they move. With that being said, we're having a lot of businesses open up here as well, which is part of the reason for the growth. And it's just bringing more and more people here, because once they come here, a lot of people decide they're okay with the humidity or the traffic or different things that some people might see as an issue. Construction. You're going to have businesses moving down here. You're going to have new roads being built, new infrastructure. Florida's growing, and it's growing out. So, there's a lot of popular areas like Wesley Chapel, Trinity area, different things like that, that are close to us. New restaurants, new grocery stores, gas stations, shopping, all kinds of different things like that to complement all the new construction residential homes that are being built. You also have apartments that are being built. So, with all those people that are going to be living in those areas, they have to expand roads. So again, you're going to see a lot of construction as well. So we're going from, let's say, 2-lane to 4-lane to 6-lane, 8-lane, that has to continue to grow to accommodate the population that's going to be living in that area. So again, something else you want to consider if you're moving here. Florida is a hard place to figure out where you want to be as far as living. So, there's a lot of things that come into play. Cost versus convenience, one of them. If you want to be further out, you probably get more for your money than if you want to be, in walking distance of, local shopping centers and different things like that, outside of living in a community that has that all built into it. If you want to be close to airports, beaches, different things like that, you're probably going to, pay more. They say location, location, location. That would be the reason. If you don't mind driving, a lot of people move to Florida that are used to commuting 30, 45 minutes. That's not a problem. The things you want to consider would probably be where you're working, how far is that from your home, where do your kids go to school, where do your kids play sports. I know a lot of travel teams around here might not make a difference. You're used to it. Those are things to consider. Also want to consider, I don't know if you're used to sinkholes. There are a lot of sinkholes in Florida. There's also flood areas. You can check the FEMA maps. We can put links, below the video on that. But you want to see where you're going to be living if you need to get flood insurance. I can tell you right now, if you're thinking about moving over to the beaches or moving on a canal or intercoastal, maybe even a lake, you might need to get flood insurance. So that's an additional expense on top of your regular mortgage. So sun intensity, since we're a lot closer to the equator, more of a tropical feel, the sun's gonna do more damage to your skin. I can tell you, going to the beach, growing up here on the beaches, seeing a lot of people that live on the beaches and their skin is almost leathered, walking around wearing their Speedos and, almost look to a point purple because they are so dark from getting tanned. Obviously, that's not a healthy way to do it. You want to definitely make sure if you're going to the beaches or just out in general, if you're out watching sports, if you're out playing sports, you want to make sure you're wearing the right sunblock, especially if you have kids. If you have fair skin, even more so. Flat scenery. If you're thinking about, going on hikes up mountains and trails like that, Florida's not going to be for you. It's very flat. You're going to see a few hills here and there, nothing of any kind of consequence. Florida's going to be known more so for beaches, lakes, canals, different things like that. But with that being said, if you're used to swimming in lakes, maybe up north, well, down here, you're going to be concerned with alligators and water moccasins, poisonous snakes. If you're thinking about going to the beaches, you've got jellyfish, you've got sharks, and you've got stingrays that you have to be aware of. Again, a few things that you should be aware of, and if you're concerned about that, Florida might not be the place you want to move. So we've gone through all the reasons not to move to Florida. If you're still considering moving to Florida after everything, or you have any additional questions, please let me know. I'd be glad to help you. We'll catch you on the next video.